Ja się zakocham.
All right, hello. Welcome everyone, welcome everybody to the morning session Silver Bullet for Tuesday's trading. All right, so first things first, economic calendar. And as we can see, we have 10 a.m. medium impact news hitting, so this could be a little bit of promising, I would say, maybe. So we could expect some volatility coming, but nonetheless, a quick review of what transposed in the price action since the London Open, and we can see the first presentation that I was drawing my attention and looking for a potential long off of that. It delivered a beautiful run that was basically what I was looking for the London Open Silver Bullet, but nonetheless it was not offered to me during this time, therefore it is what it is. So far we opened at 9:30 in here. This is the 9:30 candle with a slight premium opening range gap. Why? Because we generally skip the Mondays because we didn't hit the Mondays 4:14 close anyway. So we go back to Fridays basically. And in comparison to that, we opened with a premium opening range gap still. And yeah, that's why this is the high of it. Right at the open, we've taken sales liquidity from the London Open session, but we did it on a very shallow basis in here. So for me, this is a little bit suspect still. Going forward, what do we have? We have this 4-hour bearish fair value gap, so I can extend that because We are in close proximity to that, and I would say that the new week opening up here is going to be the draw for the silver bullet for the morning session, in my opinion, for ES. Why do I think so? We have a nice sell-side liquidity resting right above it. Thinking or taking into consideration the fact that this is the Friday's close, this opening here, we have consecutive encroachment around here. Okay. So this is the Tuesday opening range gap, consecutive encroachment. That's basically my initial bias, and it's coupled with the new week opening up, so it should be a strong draw, nonetheless, I believe. So we'll see what we get. We still have 8 minutes left before 10 a.m., but I would be rather looking for something that could offer that versus anything else. Looking at it right away. So let's see. All right, Nasdaq clearly stronger, seeking those buys of liquidity here at typical highs. Let's see if we can manage to get that. Yes, it's no near reaching its own buy side respectively. So yeah, this one is clearly a stronger one. Price inverse this 4-hour CB in here, and the sell side resides right there. Relative equal lows left here. So that might be a factor though, but yeah. After all, we closed here and we opened here. So that's a premium opening range gap clearly. And the consecutive encroachment is right below the sell side liquidity. That's very, very, no, this is very, very smooth. So yeah, Nasdaq, same thing, but it looks way stronger. So it might be a little bit stubborn when it goes to the downside. Dollar index trading higher into this new week opening gap. That could mean some near-term weakness on indices. 15-minute chart, if they can buy set here, but ES, it's no way matching this high here with NQ. So ES definitely weaker. So better candidate for a potential short that I'm trying to outline. So yeah, I think I have everything I really need for now. I will just keep scanning through, but nonetheless, my main attention goes here as a draw. So the Tuesday opening range gap, consecutive encroachment, coupled with that new week opening gap inside of it, that's a very, very, very strong draw on liquidity, in my opinion. Besides that, let's annotate this CB here. Okay, 4 minutes left for until 10 a.m. and we'll see what we'll get actually after that time. But yeah, initially my preferred idea is this consecutive encroachment and new week opening up on ES. The CB looks interesting. It took buy set here, first presented after buy set taken, but yeah, still I'm waiting for 10 a.m. Prior to that, I'm not engaging anything really, but I might be setting some ideas up. All right, so when it goes to leverage, I assume about 10 units, maybe a little bit more. Depends on where we would be getting the entry. I feel like I need to be ahead of the consecutive encroachment in here, regardless of what I will take. I feel I need to be ahead of that. Something like this. So 12 looks kind of fair to me at this moment. And we'll see what we get after all. So 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left until 10 a.m. And yeah, I mean, something that I would like to, or maybe prefer to wait for, would be Nasdaq taking its buy side here based on the 15-minute, because yeah, I mean, this buy side is way too clean and the price is way too close to it, so it's very likely that it will get up into it. And if that's the case, I don't want to enter shorts ahead of that on ES, because that could mean a little bit of lift, I suppose. So we got the buy side tagged here ahead of the 10 a.m. news that's coming in 1 minute, really. So yeah, ES definitely weaker. I don't necessarily want to say decoupled completely, because it's kind of mimicking the same movement that Nasdaq did. The problem is with ES is that it's just way weaker than Nasdaq. Therefore it looks like it's I mean, it is what it is, right? But yeah, Nasdaq did took out the buy set here. ES is not necessarily in any close proximity to that. I favor the new week opening up on ES to be the factor, and we'll see. So 10 a.m. just started, and yeah, was there buying opportunity after sell side was taken? You mean in here? I mean like a scalp, yes, sure here. That could have been like a very short-term scalp, maybe, yeah. I mean, if you would be aiming for the buy set here or some inefficiencies here, then probably, yeah. All right, I'll remove the all-time high level here because it makes the chart a little bit busier than I would like, and I will remove this green box too. So you know it's a little bit cleaner. And 10 a.m. news, right? So 10 a.m. news. Let's see whether they will offer any manipulation with that news event. Preferably taking some buy sell liquidity first in here, and in my opinion, that could have been really constructive for the idea of ES reaching towards the opening range gap consecutive encroachment from today, right? But yeah, we'll see. That's for sure. We'll see. Nasdaq clearing the buy side in here. Could tap some breakout longs into the party, and then have some easier time falling potentially, while ES is altogether just weaker. So yeah, dollar index losing some strength, so it's not as big of a factor for bearishness right now. All right, nonetheless, I guess just let's wait and see. Let's wait and see whether there will be any bearish sensitivity. So far, we traded up into this SIBI on 1 minute, and the price is spending some time inside of it. So I'm choosing to wait for now. Six sister on S&P. Could be though, could be, but yeah, we'll see what we get. Generally speaking, the first morning session after holiday tends to be a little bit tricky, so I'm keeping that in mind. Historically speaking, it's really the morning session I mean after the holiday is really or tends to be really wonky. It's not always the case, but it has the likelihood of being a little bit off when it comes to precision and the delivery itself. But yeah, now Nasdaq is under some pressure while ES is pushing higher, right? So that is a little bit of decoupling being seen real time. Clearly Nasdaq hovering a down close candle on 15-minute while ES hovering an up close candle on 15-minute. Definitely noteworthy. So maybe some shenanigans are being implemented. So I definitely want to be careful, I guess. But again, speaking about the trading after a holiday, it's very similar to the protocol after trading. I mean, trading after a large range day is very similar to trading after a holiday volume. Usually, not always, but usually or historically, the PM session tends to be optimal for trading after a holiday or large range day, and we'll see if that will be the case today. But PM session wouldn't be a bad shot blindly, I would say. So if I would have to choose one time window to trade today, I would probably choose the PM session. Yeah, London was pretty poor. M session so far pretty like decoupled. Nasdaq doing its thing, ES doing its thing. A little bit tricky for sure. Maybe not impossible, but a little bit tricky. Definitely. So these aren't necessarily the easiest sessions to engage with price. At least so far. That might change. We might see some more obvious price action coming. Would have been nice to see, but it is what it is. I will take whatever it will give. And yeah. So we are hovering close to the buy sell liquidity in here, right? So I wonder whether we can just take that out first. Would have been interesting. So far, nothing that's really like bearish about it per se. So yeah. So yeah, so far I guess I'm on hold and I'm not in a rush. I'm watching and waiting for the buy sell liquidity in here on ES on the short-term basis being potentially taken out. The idea that could get me short at this moment, aiming for that new week opening up, would be if we could go back below this 950 CB. if we could reclaim that as a bearish PD array, then I'll definitely consider that as an opportunity to send it lower. Right now, I don't have a setup otherwise, so that's what I could potentially look for at this moment. If it would be available to me. But yeah, if not, then I either wait for something that forms higher that would be potentially bearish, or I just allow it to do whatever it wants to do on the upside. So I guess that's a reasonably fair of an idea. So yeah, we'll see. So far decoupled markets, and so far slow start into the 10 a.m. doesn't make me very enthusiastic to be engaging this session with ease, but we'll see. Looks like we are hovering some kind of relative equal highs in here, selling that idea, so that's suspect already. So again, that near-term buy side looks really reasonable as expectation to be taken out, and maybe then we could see some measure of rejection potentially. And yeah, we'll see, but I don't have a setup at this moment particularly. I have a little bit of an idea, so that's, I guess, fair enough, but I'm not necessarily very confident in what it wants to do. So yeah, Nasdaq keeps pushing higher, which should it should take the ES higher too. It should see a lift higher, but I'm not trusting that to be a buyer and keep on buying this. I mean, if it goes, it can go however it wants, however high it wants to go without me, but I'm not necessarily buying into Nasdaq at all-time highs here. And I'm not necessarily, I mean, I guess ES is more of a buy if you would argue versus Nasdaq, and it could be playing the catch up, but still I'm not necessarily seeing that as my go-to idea. So yeah, The first 15 minutes rather sloppy in here for ES. Nasdaq after 10 a.m. pretty much didn't form any fair value gap at all. It keeps pushing higher, yes, but it's uber sloppy too. It tagged the 30,000 big figure, so it could always be reaching some 20, 40, 60, maybe 80 handles higher above that. But yeah, as I said, I prefer ES for a short potentially. I think it's weaker, and I think it will have easier time reaching into the new week opening gap slash opening range gap consecutive encroachment for Tuesday's trading, and that's kind of what I'm sticking with, and we'll see. So yeah, reclaim bearish fair value gap, because that's what I would prefer to see this PDRA act as for me to engage it. And if that's the case, we need to close. We need to basically go below it, and then any return should be offering resistance. If that's the case, and then and only then I'm interested in shorts. Right now, it's just going and probably seeking the near-term buy side right here. Nasdaq just keeps on going. Yeah, with the Nasdaq pushing so hard into the all-time highs in here, I have this feeling that ES will be playing the catch-up, and it's more bullish than it's bearish, and at this time it's definitely true. The question is, will it stay like this? All right, so ES is also trading into this long week that was used as resistance in here so far. But I suppose if we go above it, that could act as reclaimed discount week. And then if that's the case, if we find support here, we could have been looking for a run on all-time highs on ES, I suppose. And like giving way on the idea that it can or it should trade to the consecutive encroachment of the opening range gap. We'll see. I mean, I'm. It feels like it wants to just keep on ripping higher. That's what it feels like. And if that's the case, I don't want to go I don't want to stand against it, but at the same time, it makes more sense to me and to send it lower and make that lower low on ES and Nasdaq respectively made some down move, but probably not as low as ES. So we'll see. We tap the buy sell liquidity above the short-term high in here, and we looks like failed to reach the consecutive encroachment of that premium week. So I guess that's like the last chance for the price to roll over for this time if it's gonna go lower. It should be seeing some real displacement and premium sensitivity around here, because if we go above it, then I assume all-time high is more likely. But yeah, we'll see. Mm-hmm. Yep, we'll see. Yeah, Nasdaq it's just keep pushing into the all-time highs. So, and it was already at all-time highs at 10 a.m. So completely disqualified for any longs in my mind. SMT so far, but that looks like ES could want to play a catch-up game with Nasdaq and trying to match and attack this buy set here. But yeah, I guess let's observe. Let's watch. We booked the consecutive encroachment in here, and we've taken this buy set here on ES. So in my mind, if it would go lower, it should be turning around here. But look what Nasdaq is doing. Just stairways to heaven. So yeah, I mean, so yeah, I mean, all-time high scenario. All-time high scenario. Don't be trapped into a silly short. I suppose. So yeah, I guess fair enough. If it wants to just keep grinding higher, I'll just let it go, unless it would offer some like really obvious idea to go long. But right now it's not there. Yeah, so Nasdaq basically did that 80 handle sweep above the 30,000 big figure in here, and it just keeps on going in here higher. So that's not a market I would I would like to short. I mean, maybe the launch macro could offer something, but not necessarily now. I mean, technically the 1030 starts the launch macro, the early one, or it could start the launch macro. So if that's the case, then yeah, maybe. But I don't think I want to touch Nasdaq at this moment. Yes, having some struggle to go through that premium week so far. Looks pretty overextended, but look at the Nasdaq, right? This one is going. It's higher into the all-time highs. All right, so we see some initial rejection in here on ES off of that buy sell liquidity that was taken out. This doesn't necessarily make me like wanna go short right away or anything like that, but that sets up a potential of, or this is more like a crossroads. Yeah, so whether we will actually offer a setup to go lower or not. So if we are gonna go lower, this is the time to do so. But yeah, I personally kind of start to have difficult time seeing that. So yeah, this is acting as a bullish for value gap. We traded to it, the body stayed above, price rallying higher out of it. So I guess I take the limit off. Because at this moment we are no near establishing a short, I feel like. So yeah, I mean the main issue is that the Nasdaq is in a buy program and it can literally just keep going until it's stop. So because it's all-time highs, because this is the first time we are here, I'm really reluctant to do anything. All right, so far the bodies are staying in the lower half of this premium week, and we've taken buy sell liquidity. So again, that could offer a little bit of downside, or worst case scenario, or like the different side of the coin, or it could set up some measure of retracement to then maybe follow it up higher. So we'll see. All right, so on the very small little micro base, we do see SMT divergence on the highs in here. Nasdaq made a higher high. ES clearly failed to do so, and is breaking a little bit lower. That doesn't necessarily mean anything right now, but yeah. So far, we can't even go over or through this little fair value gap here, which keeps it real for potential continuation. But yeah, to me, these type of runs, these type of rallies are usually very, very suspect, and not really sustainable. So they are really selling the idea to people that to chase it, right? Because technically it shouldn't be going like this, right? But it does. It keeps on going higher and higher and higher. And I can promise you that the smart money is not buying above those relative equal highs in here. And they are not accumulating long positions in here to hold for higher. No, Sonia, I didn't. I haven't. No trades for me yet. I don't know, but at this moment, my gut feeling is telling me that if ES would offer a little bit of a sell-off in here, or starting to like look like it's selling off, my gut feeling is telling me that it would have been a false type of thing to eventually go higher and be, or trying to be reaching and meeting, matching with the Nasdaq with the highs. Nothing about this is bearish really, and we can see that very clearly in here. So this kind of makes me think, if that's the case, we could be potentially be matching the high here, the buy side. So that looks like a drawn liquidity right now for ES. Nonetheless, we are smashing through this premium wick in here. No premium sensitivity at all. But yeah. So gun to my head, if I had to say right now, I feel like this basic could offer some buying opportunity in here, potentially, or it should. If it's still bullish, it should. And it should send it higher, really. Do I want to engage with that? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe in terms of like adapting with what price is doing, but I would need to go with something like this, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, yeah, look at the Nasdaq, keep pushing. Yes, looks like it will want to be matching that too. So if that's the case, this could have been or should have been a long that's reasonable to send it higher. Do I have the conviction about it? A little bit, yes. A little bit, yes. So maybe all right. I will click the buy limit here, and I will assume that I was wrong about the new week opening up as the draw on ES, and I will assume that it's more likely to go higher actually. And if that's the case, then it should be running from here approximately towards the buy side. And I guess we'll see, because I'm in. I don't know, just figuring out the situation in here. That's kind of what makes sense, right? But maybe I just got overzealous with it too. So if this will be a loss, that's completely on me, as always, by the way. But yeah, I mean, specifically, yeah. I mean, I just feel like this is way more reasonable expectation versus going short. But we'll see. Using the 1035 BC fair value gap as my silver bullet entry. And obviously risking 500, reaching up for 1k before the ultimate buy side liquidity. But yeah, I mean, this one is tricky for me, to be honest, because I think that's like probable. I think I like that. I mean, I can see the logic behind it in here, and I can think that this could be probable, what I'm trying to do in here, with what I saw so far at this session. But yeah, obviously this goes against my initial expectation for the market. So I'm kind of like changing the gears while driving. So it's always a little bit tricky or trickier, I would say. Am I like very comfortable with this? I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. I feel like that's the more likely, or that's what the draw actually is right now, and that the ES is more likely to be playing catch up and six sister is in play. But if it would fail in here, then I completely get it, and I deserve the loss. That's how that's kind of how I see it at this moment. If this would fail, then I completely get it too. So yeah, this might be a very close fight. We'll see. We'll see what we get though. But we're fighting. We're fighting. So let's go. All right. So I really don't want to spend too much time around this basin here, right? Uh, in my opinion, we did already enough to just be sending it higher if it's good, and that's what I'm really looking for. Otherwise, it might get a little bit ugly in here. So yeah, I mean, already a little bit slow. Well, we'll see, we'll see. I feel like I'm playing some mind games in here, and I don't want to keep it like I don't want to complicate it or overcomplicate it. So yeah, I'm already in. Let's watch now. Let's see. It either will be a loss or either a win. Whatever happens, happens. And tomorrow we go next. So yeah. Yes, I am, Sonia. Yes, I am. And I'm playing dirty today. I mean, the markets are playing a little bit dirty today, so am I. Well, well, well. Mm, I appreciate the fact that the price is it's spending a lot of time in here, yes, but it's not necessarily spending a lot of time inside of the busy. It's usually just tapping into the busy and uh, then running away. So that's at least a little bit of a positive. But overall, I'm a little bit concerned about this position. I'm a little bit concerned. You know this feeling when market is reaping higher, and once you enter, it stops, right? It stops doing so. That's a very interesting feeling. But yeah, I feel like I have made a blunder in here. I feel like I've made a blunder. I know it still could deliver, yes, but I think I'm just not maybe not used to, but I just don't necessarily enjoy trading this type of conditions, market conditions. They don't happen every day, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We are heading to the 1050 macro in here. So that would be a great time to see actually some measure of acceleration, whether higher or lower. Preferably, I would like to see price leaving this BC uh, by now. And I would like to see some speed in the delivery higher, so that anyone that is short actually or trying to get short with a stop loss above that high could feel the pressure of this run up too. So let's see. We've taken short-term sell side inside of that BC, and now we are possibly leaving it to the upside during the macro. So we have everything set for this to actually speed up if it's good. Well, here we go. So these are a little bit of the problems, the issues that we or that I am gonna face or gonna be facing at this moment with this idea. I still think that they are laying a bait. They are laying a bait, and ES is not gonna actually sell off. I mean, it might maybe take me out in here, but I don't think it's actually gonna sell off completely. Um, and I think that eventually it will be seeking to match that all-time high 2 with Nasdaq. That makes the most sense in my mind, at least. So yeah, as long as this entry is still in play, that makes, in my mind, more sense in terms of like probabilities to reach up there versus going lower. And because we did failed to reach the consecutive encroachment of that opening range gap. We couldn't even reach to that new week opening gap. It looks like an underlying strength, really, potentially. So yeah, I mean, the fact that it's failing in here initially like this, that's already, I don't like to see that, obviously, and it's a little bit of problematic for sure. But I also feel like this is laying a bait for people to actually try to short it, maybe, and take it higher. Why? Because we left such perfect relative equal highs like this in here, and that's not something that should stay there for a long time. But yeah, it could get me out before going higher. So yeah. I don't know. Maybe this position in itself was a little bit risky. I would say so. And maybe I forced the issue today with this entry. But yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. If I make mistake, then I gotta pay for it. So now, as we traded below this BC in here, right? So now we want to watch whether it acts as inversion for Y gap. Thinking in terms of like being a long, right? And price going below it like this for the short-term sell liquidity here. If this idea is still good and it doesn't stop me out, it needs to quickly go above this. Quickly go above this BC on a closing basis. Then I guess the game is on and we could expect reasonably higher prices, but yeah, that's a lot of things would need to happen at this point to allow for that, and that's not necessarily in the cards right now, I feel like. So yeah, that looks like a blunder. That looks like a blunder. But not necessarily in terms of like it should go lower now completely, but more in terms of like I should maybe wait for that measure of retracement lower first, which could be maybe deeper than my stop loss will allow at this moment, right? That's how I see it. So yeah. I like how the bodies are staying inside this little fair value gap in here. And I really want to see how we will trade back into this inversion after we've taken the sell side liquidity relative equal lows right there. So in theory, that could have been enough to send it higher. In practice, it's still a little bit iffy. If we would go above it, above this busy, I would then like it as reclaimed bullish fair value gap. And honestly, if I wouldn't be in by now, then I would like to be potentially engaging it. But I guess I did it a little bit ahead of the time. So um, we'll see. Similar situation with Nasdaq in here. I feel like it could still be pushing potentially higher with what it presented, and that could allow for that catch up on ES. And I mean, otherwise, I'm just out, and that was just poor execution, and that definitely was a poor execution. So it definitely deserves a stop out if that's the case. So yeah, very close to my stop loss. Yeah, a miracle could save me at this moment. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, full stop. Poor entry, poor idea, I believe. A little bit overzealous against my initial expectations. I was changing them on the fly, but yeah, not proud of this one though. Not proud of this one, uh, but yeah, I guess it is what it is. Let me update the score. So 1 loss more, 5 losses, 4 wins at the time. All right. So I guess I'll be continuing the fight tomorrow, starting with the London Open, and we'll see what we'll get there. And yeah. Shibal a little bit. Shibal. We'll see. I mean, nonetheless, it is what it is. So thank you guys for watching. It was a pleasure as always. I'll be back tomorrow with fresh mindset, and we'll fight again. So thanks for watching, and see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.